What's up? This is going to be talking about strings. We've got these cool Ernie Ball Pino Palladino signature flatwounds to try out. This is not sponsored by anyone. All my own money went into these strings. And let me tell you, bass strings are expensive nowadays. I remember a couple years ago, probably like early pandemic, maybe before that, I don't remember exactly, going to Guitar Center and buying a couple packs of Fender stainless steel round wound strings for $12 each. And I remember at the time thinking, man, this is such a steal. And the normal strings I buy are $20 a pack, and those were the Diodario XLs. And thinking, man, $12 a pack, that's pretty good for bass strings. And on the other end of things, we have $80 for a pack of strings. We have prices going up. We live in 2025. We've been in a shadow recession for 2.5 years now, maybe more. So things are getting expensive. So in this video, we're gonna compare two of my favorite sets of flat wound strings, talk about the others, and some pros and cons, some stuff. Nothing super crazy, nothing you haven't heard before. But I know I haven't seen a lot of press on these, to be honest. They're really expensive, and I think that's why. Releasing $80 strings when the consumer seems to be lacking in economic mobility is a bold move on Ernie Ball's end. But we're gonna try them out. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna be putting them on my 72P bass, currently strung with Fender, not 70, 60, that is Labella. Whatever their flat wounds are. The green guys, they reminded me of chromes that don't suck. And that's not a dig at Diodario, they don't work for me. Some of my favorite bass players make chromes work, I don't. I like these a lot, they're really balanced. They do the grindy P-bass thing, but they also are really mellow and can convince you that you are playing in a Motown record if you are smart about it. So we'll hear a little bit of these first. These are really middle of the road balanced flats. You're not getting the super bright chromes thing. You're not getting the super thumpy Labella thing. I feel like the mids are, they're like as white bread milquetoast as it gets to me. And that's kind of what I love about them. Sometimes when I've had like Labella strung basses as my only options, it can get hard to do like hard rock in a real way. I struggle with certain kinds of flats to get certain kinds of sounds. That's not a concept that should surprise anybody. One thing I really like about these Fender flats is that harmonics still pop out. You don't get the thing that happens with a lot of like more vintage voiced flats where there's this awesome gushy mid-range and low-end content. Then you go like hit a harmonic and it just kind of falls apart, or you try and play with a pick and suddenly everything disappears. And here we go. Here's a demo of the Fender flats, and then we'll go into the other one. Okay, so I don't really hate to say it, but a part of me does. But these strings are awesome. Just straight out of the pack. I mean, they feel delightful. In a very real sense, they're nice and smooth and supple. The flexibility is great. For context, I went with the extra light gauge, which is 38 to 98. It's the thinnest the thinnest top string of a bass guitar that I've ever used. Typically I go down to like a 40 gauge, but I like a tiny little G string sometimes. And so this is really interesting. I mean, it like, you were just hearing the like iPhone audio. I mean, honestly, it feels and sounds like what I would exactly expect the Pino thing to feel and sound like. They, to me, tension-wise, feel similar to TI's. They have that same kind of like burpy like thing that's awesome. The tension is just so nice. Oh my gosh! But the polished feel, it reminds me of Labellas. Honestly, like they're nice and smooth. I feel like the string-to-string tension's pretty solid. The A string feels just like a tad light. It's what's the gauge? We're looking at a 68 for the A string. Yeah, that's a little light. I've played like D strings that were like 65, but I have no complaints. They feel great. Let's see with like a pick. What do they do there? Like. Come on, all right. Sup? Let us know which of these strings you prefer. What are you planning on using? Do you prefer brighter flatwounds or darker, thumpier flatwounds? Really just depends on what you're going for. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If you have any of your favorite strings. We're bass players. We're simple creatures. We're basically chimpanzees who learned how to count to 4 in creative and fancy ways. Hence, all the focus on the weird stuff. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending some time with me. I will catch y'all later. See ya.